So I have never done one of these videos, and I've been wanting to do one very much. We're gonna be looking at Dr. Phil and how this heroin addict claims to be a great dad.
To hold it in.
My sister Missy thought we were putting our kids in harm's way with our heroin addiction. We never would put them in harm's way.
A great dad.
The kids were never
Oh God.
neglected, never abused. They never went without. They had a roof over their head up until we got evicted.
You can't be serious right now.
We do drugs, but we would never do them in front of our kids.
When we were using, we would leave the house and go in the car.
These guys are dedicated. That's all I could say.
Anybody that would even put their kid in that type of situation is a lowlife.
There's
a case with CPS where they said that we locked the kids out of the house for 13 hours. That was
Whoa. He's just grazing over this like it's nothing. 13 hours?
Another time, CPS got a report of our kids outside playing in the dumpster.
CPS came with a photo of a child.
Something to do with all these false accusations. That's dragging our names through the mud.
I believe that we were good parents.
I feel like being a heroin addict. Actually, no, never mind. It's not worse than just being abusive to your kids. But it's gotta be up there, right? You're either punching your little kid, or you're just smoking, or you're doing I don't even know what they do. I don't even know how to do heroin. You're just doing heroin. They're not that big of a difference. I feel like they're concerned about the wrong thing. They should just quit entirely.
To our girls, and we made sure they had everything they needed.
They deserve to be with us.
What deserve? Oh my God. Deserve is a crazy word. Deserve is crazy.
Has no impact on your quality as a parent.
No, I never did anything like that with my kids around me or nothing.
Katie?
Well, at least, they're not taking fentanyl and on the side of the road. At least they're somewhat in their kids' lives rather than just hunched over on a sidewalk in California.
Would you say wanted heroin addict to supervise my children?
No.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's what we're dealing with is obviously we have a disease.
Oh my God. A disease. You know what? Let me just Google up what disease means. All right,
We have a
maybe
problem.
it is a disease.
But no, I wouldn't want that for my child. Somebody to watch my kid.
Yet you maintain it doesn't impair your ability to take care of your children.
Right.
Can we just talk about how Dr. Phil hasn't aged in the past 10 years? I feel like I remember watching Scrubby and all those guys back then looking at Dr. Phil, and he just hasn't aged. He has all the same wrinkles, all the same blubber around his cheeks, and the same baldness in the same spot. Dr. Phil could be one of those lizard men that don't age. I think him and Mark Zuckerberg are up there.
I've been taking
one of those two
painkillers
guys.
for numerous years.
And you're letting your children wander around, as numerous witnesses have attested. That's not being a good mother. And if your judgment is telling you that's okay, then that's poor judgment. And if you don't see that, this is worse than I thought. Do you have a story or a question for me?
We just end like that?
Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world
This has
is
to be
going
AI,
on.
right?
The apartment complex says there was a litany of reasons for the eviction, and neglecting their children was a huge part of it. Take a look.
For sobriety?
I do believe the girls were being neglected. The children were constantly outside as early as 7:30 in the morning, and would be outside till 5, 6 o'clock at night when Katie or
That's not
Christopher decided to get up and...
That's not abnormal though. Kids like to be outside. I'm not trying to side with them. Maybe they forced them out, locked them out, but being outside is normal for a kid, I feel like.
call for them. It does rain here a lot, and they were outside barefoot, dresses.
All right, no clothes. That one's kind of crazy though.
Shorts,
Send them out with
no
nothing
shoes,
on.
no socks, no jackets. I also received numerous complaints from downstairs neighbors. The girls would knock on neighbors' doors asking for food because they were hungry.
Not feeding them either. Oh my
It was common
God.
for the girls to be outside playing in unsafe areas. I received a phone call from maintenance staff that Christopher and Katie's child was in the dumpster. So I had them snap a photo. I physically walked down and I did ID her. Actually was Christopher and Katie's daughter. And then Christopher came down and grabbed her and walked away. Chris and Katie's apartment was really, really bad. There was no clean areas for those children to play in, to sleep in, to eat in. The carpets were soaked.
Wow. Soaked with urine. That is crazy. That's great. How can you just live in that? I feel like if I was living in that, I would not last a day.
With urine from the animals. We had one night where myself and security sat out, and there was 36 people that all would stay 2 minutes to 10 minutes. I believe they were dealing drugs. So it just got to the point where I felt the need to call CPS for the safety.
You know, if it took her this long to call CPS, there's a lot of other problems she should be worried about. I feel like calling CPS right when those kids were in the dumpster would have been a good idea. But you're waiting the entire night to see if 36 people go in and out for drug dealing? We waited that long. That long.
The girls.
This is what a typical living room is.
My living room does not look like that. It's a little bit more messy. I'm not saying that Chris and Katie's living room is normal, but this would not be typical. I see little like blankets and stuff on the floor. That's just me, but this is still crazy. This room is crazy. It looks like an abandoned hospital. Just everything thrown around. Like homeless people are digging in it.
Is supposed to look like.
Okay.
That's what children
Who is giggling in the background? This ain't funny.
are supposed to grow up in. This is a picture of your child's bedroom.
Wow. I feel like they did it black and white just to make it more contrasting. But this is crazy. Laundry baskets, no pillow. No pillow is kind of wild. A chair to sit on, if you get bored or something, just like these guys have over here. A little stroller if you want to go out by yourself. I see no wrong.
What is that, right?
That's a bong.
Bowl. What?
I don't know.
Seriously, somebody put that
Obviously,
there?
why would that be in my daughter's room? I'm not.
Yeah, that's a really good
my
question.
My mind isn't fogged that bad that I would ever leave something like that in my daughter's room.
Yeah, well, that's how a kid's bedroom.
He's not denying the living room situation. Oh my God. Is this an oven? A dishwasher? What is this? Oh my God. This is horrible.
Is supposed to look.
I know. Okay, I know.
Are you saying this is not right? This is a misrepresentation.
I'm not saying anything right now.
Katie, what do you say?
These pictures were after we moved.
The day that I picked the girls up, the house was worse than that. And look at me, both of you both know that. You are not going to get better. Your kids are going to live the rest of their life without you. I don't want to raise your kids.
Yeah, you do.
I have 6 of my own.
6! Oh my God. What?
Without you. I don't want to raise your kids.
Yeah, you do.
I have 6 of my own.
My God. What? 6 kids? And we're like ignoring the fact that this guy thinks that his sister wants to deal with the other two. She's gonna have 8 kids. That is crazy. Is she just going around 6 times pregnant? That is crazy.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't want
leaving.
to raise your kids.
I
And
can't
do not
this.
walk away. You can't do this, which is why you're still addicted.
We asked you to take our girls, and all of a sudden, so we could get help, so we could get better,
Have
and all
you
of a
gotten
sudden
help?
you go.
In 3
Well, you know
months,
what?
have you gotten help?
Not yet.
No.
We haven't.
No, yeah. They dropped their kids off for 3 months and didn't get better? It's hopeless.
That's right, you haven't.
No,
And I
Okay.
love you,
whatever.
but
Okay.
this is not okay.
I know it's not.
It's like a middle school child talking to their parent. Did you do your homework? Not yet. I got 3 more months.
I let my kids live like that, and I'm ready to get help. Stop
I am ready.
denying. Good.
You really can't be rational because you're addicted to heroin. And heroin changes your brain.
He's not even listening.
I mean,
I wouldn't
this
listen to
isn't
Dr.
just
Phil
something
either,
psychological.
There's no
to
way
the
he's actually a
brainstem.
doctor, right? He
It
doesn't know
impairs
this,
your
does he?
executive functioning. That means your ability to really organize, make plans, and execute them. But we're okay as parents. Not anybody on the face of the earth would agree with you.
Whoa! He's
Mom.
turning red too, orange.
Come on. Are you being a good mother?
No.
I feel like she
I
just
said
said it to
the
get out of
kids
here.
deserve better than we could give them at that time.
Well, me badgering you is me unwilling to give up on you.
Right.
That's my badgering of you. And you may not like me very much right now, but I'm the best friend you got in this world right now.
Stop again. Yeah,
Trust
Dr.
me.
Phil.
I don't want you having your children raised by her. I damn sure don't want them being raised by some foster parent somewhere.
Yeah.
You've got to be willing to step up and stop blaming people and making excuses and get yourself clean. And I am willing to help you do that.
Let's clap again.
If you are willing to help yourself do that.
I am.
When we clap him. Yeah.
Do you want this case? This man right here is T.J. Howard, which I consider to be the nation's leading dual diagnosis
An
treatment center.
advertisement.
It deals with every aspect of
It's one of those ads they try to incorporate into a movie or something. They're just playing it. Yeah, this is the
Treatment
best thing
Center.
you could get.
It
Best bang
deals
for your
with
buck.
every aspect of what you have to do this right one time. And I wish I had gotten to you while the children were still there and treated you there, because I think children need to stay with their parents. I think they need to be treated in the home. I think it needs to happen while they're there. It didn't. We'll do it now.
Yeah, clap again.
Let's get this done. Let's get this done.
Applause again.
Okay?
My whole life might have got much better for me if my mom had been put
this?
into rehab.
Are these
Psychological.
just snippets?
Heroin changes your brain. It hits the prefrontal cortex. You want this, Katie?
Oh my God, it is. Dr. Phil, what has happened to you, man?